Hey nursing students, come here. I used to be just like you. I once was a nursing student feeling overwhelmed and unsure if I would ever measure up or if I had what it took to succeed as a student and as a nurse. I would watch these experienced nurses on the unit so confidently going about their day, knowing their stuff, and I was wondering, could I ever be that nurse? I'm here to encourage you. This is my love letter to you, nursing students, in 4 parts. To my first year nursing students, hi, how are you? How are you feeling about embarking on this exciting and perhaps daunting journey? As you can see, I'm sat here on my couch comfortably because I just want to have a chat with you. The fact that you even made it into nursing school is a great achievement on its own, and that means that there is great potential in you to succeed at this. So congratulations in advance. This is the start of a journey that will be filled with its challenges for sure, but it will be rewarding all the same, okay? So this year, you will likely be starting some science courses like your anatomy and physiology, plus lab components to them, taking an English writing course, maybe a research or humanities course. Basically, you have a busy year ahead of you, combining sciences with electives and maybe other activities. Since it's your first year, you will encounter a new level of difficulty from what you've been used to coming from high school. And these are from my traditional college students. And if you're coming from a different profession, then as a non-traditional student, it may be a different thing for you. In addition, I had to pick a minor, or I wanted to pick a minor, which was psychology because I enjoyed it. So I used psychology courses as my elective courses throughout the 4 years. And then I just made those courses count toward my minor. One of the ways to tackle this year is to plan ahead. And I mean being organized at the very onset. And this will be of tremendous benefit to you because as a student, I always had a planner throughout school. It helped me so much to plan, to successfully map out my semester. If I could write things down and get organized that way. So what I would do is I would take the syllabus for the semester from all my classes and I penciled in the dates for my tests, my midterm exams, finals, so I could just see at a glance what each week would look like. And this would really help me figure out when and what I should be studying at a particular week and really prioritize my studying routine. And so even when I didn't have exams, I learned to review upcoming material because I had the class syllabus and I knew what was obviously going to be coming up next. So I would take the textbooks and even just jotting down when and what I was studying was really helpful. It's not a perfect science, but having some sort of a plan in place will set you up for success. So make sure that you are getting yourself organized. If you're not a planner person, like a physical planner, use your phone, but plan weekly for when you're going to review the class material, even before the day of your class. Do not just try to wing it. Please plan ahead. That will really keep you on track and ahead of the game. The other thing that you must understand is that you need to identify your weak areas, the places that you're not strongest at. So for me, that was anatomy. Early on, I struggled a lot with all the new concepts because there's going to be a boatload of information, just a sheer volume of content that we had to understand and commit to memory and just pull out when the exam time came. So you need to identify which of those classes that you might have a harder time with and start looking over the content even before class. That semester was terrible for me. I failed A&P, like with an F, not a C, because I know nursing students can be super high achieving and think that a C is a fail, which, yeah, I understand that. But I mean, I failed it with an F, okay? That was the first time that I'd ever had to retake a class. And it was, my goodness, I was shattered. I had never failed in anything before. And I got so shaken up, I didn't think it was possible to fail. I mean, I don't know why, but I just didn't think so. And at that point, I knew I had to do something differently because that really ate me up, okay? So the second time around, I was hyper-focused. I carved out time to read the material before class so it didn't just creep up on me as new information every week, but it was more of a clarification class for me. So my weekly classes would be clarifying. I would be asking questions because I had already studied the material. I would pay close attention, especially to the things that I didn't understand when I studied it on my own, okay? And that it didn't end there. After class, I would review the material right away. And in addition to that, I actually recorded the lectures. So I would not only review my notes, I would actually review the audio with a friend. I had a friend who I buddied up with for the class this time around, and we would test each other and really let it sink in. She was just as motivated as I was, so that really helped that we could then work well together. So this is important. Pick somebody, if you're going to study in a group, pick somebody who is motivated. That semester, I finished the class with an A. If I knew early on that that class had the potential to kick my butt, I probably would have taken it more seriously from the start. And so maybe I underestimated it, or I just didn't know that it required that level of commitment from the beginning. So that's why I'm telling you early, be committed and understand that if there's a course that you particularly find difficult, follow the same steps, figure out what kind of learner you are. Maybe you're not a group learner, maybe you're more just audio and review. Form a study group if that works for you, and try to figure out the best way that you can learn so that the information actually sticks with you and you understand it, not just memory to regurgitate. Reread the material. If you need a group study, like I mentioned, do that. As long as you guys are actually studying and you're not spending 5 hours in the library and only studying for a grand total of like 30 seconds, okay? So this feeds into my next point. Don't pretend to be okay if you're not. Always seek out resources that the school provides to support students on their journey, whether that's academically or socially. Take advantage of career counseling, take advantage of remedial classes, take mental health breaks. Your social life is just as important. So get involved in some school activities. Don't be too much of a hermit and only study, because you do need that time to refresh, okay? So even I am more of an introverted person. So I understand the need to just zero in, do your own thing by yourself, and not really have other people involved in that. But realize that in college, networking saves lives. Say it with me. Networking saves lives, okay? So you'll get so much value just from putting yourself out there, trying to mingle with classmates, your dorm mates. I'm not talking about clubbing or partying your time away. That's not the kind of social activities I'm talking about. But try to get involved in some professional or social activities of like-minded people, because you never know what opportunities are going to be on the other side of those connections, okay? You may boost your grades just by studying in a group. And, you know, if not for anything else, just look at it as a way of distressing, even if you don't want to study with others, just being in social activities with them. For me, what I did in my time was I joined a Christian fellowship on campus. And I think by my second year, I became one of the leaders of my specific campus. I would also attend cultural activities. I was an RA, which, if people don't understand that, it's like a resident assistant who you're kind of in charge of your dorm space and the students that live there. You would have to plan activities for folks. And this really allowed me to meet people. And in fact, I needed time alone now, because I was never lonely and I was never without the resources that I needed as a student. As a sub point to this, and it may sound too early, but getting to know your professors and building relationships with them is critical, even at this stage, and really every stage of school. These are the people that will offer you advice, recommendations for even jobs and for advanced degrees that you decide to pursue. And just beyond that, the professors that you have today are going to be your future colleagues in a matter of 4 years thereabout. These networks really are important. They will no doubt be beneficial as you join the nursing workforce, seek leadership opportunities. Maybe if you wanted to go into academia, just become acquainted with your professors, guys. If you have problems with your courses, don't just sit back. They are there to help you. Don't just pass through their course like everyone else. After that, the course is over, stay in touch with them. When you enter your second year, perhaps, drop them a nice email to say, hey, thank you for your dedication to us last year. Some of the things that I learned in your class, I'm now using in future courses. Let them know that you see practical application in this new course, and messages like that will encourage your professors for sure, because they also need appreciating. It'll make them feel duly recognized for all their hard work, and of course it will make you memorable to them. Next thing I want to talk to you about is your physical health. Freshman 15 is real, okay? So in addition to your schoolwork and taking care of your mental health, also remember that you have to take care of yourself physically. Do not fall victim to the freshman 15. Everybody does, because this is the proverbial 15 pounds of weight that new college students gain in their first year. Because, yeah, you're free to eat and do whatever you want. You have access to food constantly because you're in the dining halls. You have restaurants. Usually college campuses have all these restaurants all around them. You're discovering new spots to eat. You're discovering boba tea and Indian kati rolls and food trucks. Oh, where are my Rutgers people at? Yeah, don't get me started on the Jamaican food. Okay. And of course, there's like late night studying, which means late night snacking. So please make healthy eating and exercise a priority. This will help keep your mind sharp. It'll help prevent you from being sluggish and unproductive with your day. Okay, so I'm not going to say too much about that, but I think that is self-explanatory. Here's the last thing I'll share before I wrap up. So when it came to buying textbooks, and this is kind of like a money-saving hack for you, I didn't want to spend all my money on new books, because those new books, they add up and they want you to buy the new edition, blah, blah, blah. So what I did is I would go to the school library and rent books. Sometimes all they had were like the edition prior, and that was perfectly fine because much really doesn't change from one edition to the next, in my opinion. Unless it's enforced, get older editions, right? So I would get the book from the library. Obviously that's free. For whatever the longest period of time they will let me have it out. So usually it was maybe 6 weeks at a time. And then I would just go around again and renew it. And that usually will cover me for the full semester. Now, there are also options to buy books cheaper on Amazon because your library may not have all the textbooks you need. You can buy used, you can buy rented, you can, like I said, look for previous editions. They are usually much cheaper and the modifications are very minute, okay? Even the book I used to prepare for the NCLEX was a rental. I rented that book from the local library in my house. I never really bought many textbooks. There's my money-saving hack for you. Try to save as much as you can from renting your books, okay? So guys, as you are preparing to embark on this journey, like these are the early years. You'll never get this freshman year back. So soak it in, work hard, put in the effort. There is a lot to know. Don't think that since it's only your first year, you can be a little bit relaxed or unserious. Try to start well. Try to start early to develop this mindset of diligence. Starting early, doing your work on time, it will pay off greatly for the rest of your time in school and really beyond. Take advantage of opportunities that come your way, but don't overwhelm yourself, okay? Think about this year as an exploratory year. Do you even want to be a nurse? Think about that. Is this where you want to be? Start talking to people early. Start talking to your upperclassmen. Start engaging with the sophomore years already. And I'll talk to you in maybe a next video about how to go about this. but try to make connections as early as possible. The people that you talk to have greater experience than you, and they can really save you a boatload of trouble, will I say, so mistakes don't happen if you're armed with information that you need. If you're not sure how to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, go to your career counselors. These people will guide you based on your personality, help you to figure out what you want to do. If nursing is indeed the right career fit for you, you might be able to discover it by talking to one of these people, or even talking to current nursing students to see what their opinions are, especially the ones who are currently in clinicals, because now they're actually seeing nurses and working with nurses, so they have more experience. So start there if you don't yourself know any nurses, and like I said, if you're unsure. Okay, so that would be my general advice for you. And I'm sure there's so much more that people would be able to add. So for those who have been through their first year, especially if you've just been through it, like if you're going into your sophomore year, you're the most recent experience in that year. So what other tips would you leave for first year nursing students? Let me know in the comments so we can all grow. We can all lift one another up. Freshman year is tough, but I know that by getting this far, you are tougher, and I congratulate you guys in advance. I am rooting for you. Please share this video with your friends and anyone who would be interested, and I will see you guys in the next one. All the best. Bye-bye.